to St. George. Before we officially kick the meeting off, we have to canvass the vote from the previous election in reference to the home rule charter. Um, Sherry, I can do this before the actual meeting starts. Okay. These are just the election results from the polling stations that were made available to us from the Register of Voters. There's no reason for us to think there's any issue with this. So I would ask the council to make a motion to approve this canvas information so we can send it back. Motion to approve by Councilman Heck, second by Monticello. Anybody opposed? Hearing none. All right, so we'll officially call this meeting to order. The St. George City Council regular meeting agenda, April 8th, 2025 at 5 p.m. at St. George City Hall, 14100 Airline Highway. As always, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Councilwoman Cook.
Here.
Councilman Monticello.
Here.
Councilman Himmel.
Here.
Councilman Edmonds.
Here.
Councilman Heck. We have a quorum. We can continue. Approval of minutes of the March 25th, 2025 council meeting. All council members have received this and make a motion to approve those minutes by Councilman Himmel. Second by Councilwoman Cook. Any opposition? Hearing none, those minutes have been approved. We'll bring up Scott Bird, our program director from IBTS, to give us a little update on monthly activity.
You have before you a copy of the update for each month on the activity that we're currently conducting for occupational licensing, permitting, and planning and zoning. For the month of March, we had 497 occupational license, $750,000 revenue. And for the month of March, we had 301 permits. It's just a steady increase from month to month, as you can see, for $87,000. And then for planning and zoning, for the month of March, we had 21 cases. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
How many permits did we have the month before that, just to give them kind of a little trend on where it's going? Is it on there?
Permits, yeah, so I just take it back from the beginning. In October, we had 90. In November, we had 200. December, we had about the same, 190. January, 244. In February, 299. In March, 301. So that's just a steady increase. We're busy, which is a good thing. Thank you.
The following is a list of introductory items to be heard at the public hearing on April 22nd, 2025. Number one under introductions is an ordinance to amend the 24-25 fiscal year budget. Number two is an ordinance to amend Title IX, Chapter 4, and enact Title 10 relative to permitting, regulating, and operating requirements for special events and to provide for related matters. Item 3 is ordinance to enact Title 12, Chapter 6, relative to the removal of dead and deceased trees and to provide for related matters. Item 4 is ordinance to enact Title 12, Chapter 9, relative to keeping and letting a disorderly place and to provide for related matters. Item 5 is ordinance to enact Title 12, Chapter 10, relative to chronic nuisances and to provide for related matters. One other item under Planning Commission and Zoning Commission items for public hearing to be heard on April 22nd, 2025. Number one, only item, ordinance to amend the Unified Development Code relative to the construction and operation of group homes and to provide for related matters. Items for public hearing today. We have one item under Planning Commission and Zoning Commission matters. Item number 1, T-25-02, outdoor kitchens. Amend Title 7 Unified Development Code to make outdoor kitchens a permitted accessory use and to provide for related matters. I received no comment cards on this item, but if anybody would like to make a public comment, I'll open up the public comment period for this at this time. Seeing none. Justin here. Justin, can you come up here and kind of describe what this ordinance does and why we're doing it, please?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. So this ordinance just cleans up the definition of what an outdoor kitchen is. It allows for us to permit an outdoor kitchen instead of running it through the Board of Adjustment, which code currently calls out for. And again, just cleans up the language to define exactly and what an outdoor kitchen is and stipulations on where it can be and how big it can be, et cetera.
Was this contractor driven or developer driven, or are you driven by our office?
Yeah, by our office, it's been long-standing in the East Baton Rouge Unified Development Code. They, from what I understand, do not adhere to this provision about Board of Adjustment. They removed that process a long time ago. It's just cleanup on our end to make it
Okay, so
more efficient.
they were the same way. Okay, thank you.
It's between a outdoor kitchen, which is separate from your house, or versus
Yes.
the one on your back patio.
In this definition, this would be a separate accessory structure. It's located in the rear yard.
This simplifies the mechanism to get approval. You just go get a permit now instead of having to go to the Board of Adjustment.
Right, we review the qualifications and requirements for this accessory structure instead of having to run it through the Board of Adjustment every month.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Heck, second by Councilman Himmel. Any opposition? Hearing none, that item is approved. First item under traditional new business. Number one, ordinance to establish the bond amount for the city clerk and the city tax collector and to provide for related matters. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this item, I'll open up the public comment period at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public comment period. Sherry, can you kind of talk through this a little bit, please, just so everybody understands what it is?
Yes, under the Larson Act, the amount of the bond has to be set by ordinance of the council. So the amount in this ordinance is the prevalent amount for most municipalities. However, it probably is a little bit lower than what we will need based upon our budget. And so we're just setting the minimal amount and allowing the city to pay for the premiums for the bond.
Any other questions for Sherry or any other questions regarding that particular ordinance?
This is the $20 million bond amount that we had voted on a couple meetings back. Is that the same bond?
Not 20 million, it's 25,000
Okay. Okay.
by the clerk and the tax collector. And actually, we have that function somewhat contracted out, and our contractor has to carry insurance separately.
Understand what kind of bond this is now.
I hear a motion. Motion to approve by Councilman Monticello,
Second.
second by Councilman Heck. Any opposition? That item is approved. Item number 2 under new business, public hearing to consider the condemnation of blighted property located at 433 Rue de la Belle Maison, number 2. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this item, I'll open up the public comment period at this time. Just turn on the mic right there and give your name and address, please.
To Harry, the building is 4333 Rue de Belle Maison. So this property was burned on July 29th. Unfortunately, the agent who was handling all my insurances neglected to tell me or notify me that the insurance, the hazard insurance company had gone out of business about 15 days before this happened. So when I called to file claim for this, he told me that unfortunately you don't have insurance for this. Well, mortgage company enforces insurance on the property. However, during this period, the mortgage company, Wells Fargo, sold my mortgage to a new mortgage company. I had to wait for that to be settled in order for me to do any kind of claiming with them until 18th of August. When I did so, they told me that we don't own your mortgage. We didn't own your mortgage during that time. You have to go back to Wells Fargo. So back and forth between the two. Finally, Wells Fargo accepted to go ahead and take care of it, put the insurance on it so we can start. Assurant Insurance is what is taking care of this. They approved everything. They wrote a $100,000 check to start. They send a check to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo now is saying, unfortunately, we're no longer your mortgage company. We have to send this check back to the Assurant. Assurant has to reissue a check. Assurant is telling me I need to provide some kind of a documentation saying that both of the mortgage company has to be stated on there that this was transferred to the other one, and every document I sent them, they rejected. So we're literally just waiting at this point to get them to reissue a check to the new mortgage company so we can start. I have the contractors, everybody ready to go to start this. It's a fourplex, so part of it is burned. The other side is I still have tenants who live there. So that's the only thing I'm waiting for right now. I'm hoping to be within a few weeks to get started on it and fix it up.
I talked today, you need to get over there, board those windows up because there's glass everywhere. On the outside of the building, you have a couch or a chair that burned up, springs are loose where kids can come fall on it. And 10 months has been a long time, but you do need to if you get started in 2 weeks, that's fine. But in between now and then, you do need to get it boarded up for safety reasons, not just to cover you, but protect the kids that live around there, which they do have. Because when I went by there today, I saw bicycles and everything else. So appreciate if you get that taken care of. Did you need a fire report on that with your insurance companies? It sounds like you're getting the runaround. Do you have a copy of it?
I do have that, and I've provided that to them. Everything, like I said, it's been approved. Everything is okay, but the problem is they keep telling me because of the fires in California, they're delayed on everything. The desk adjuster never returns my phone call. Every email that I send through their claim department takes 10 to 12 days for them to respond. So when I send a document saying, hey, look, this was transferred, even by rejecting it, it takes so many days for them to just get back with me to say, no, this is not a document we need. And they're not telling me what kind of document they need. So Mr. Scott told me today I need to go to City of Clerk, I believe, to get it stamped. They will have it recorded. So I'm going to do that tomorrow and send it over to them. So hopefully that will expedite things. But meanwhile, I did get an estimate. I'm going to have everything boarded up and cleaned up immediately. So before we can even move forward with the construction part of it.
Do you have a lawyer?
I don't.
You may want to get one for deal with your insurance company. Write them a mean letter from a lawyer. And they'll get straight.
I threatened them to do that. Actually, I told them if they don't, I've sent emails. I think to Mr. Scott, everything that I've been corresponding with the insurance company, and I've literally told them if they don't take care of this immediately, I am getting a lawyer involved. I do have a lawyer because of the error and omission on part of my agent for never letting me know. If he had told me that, hey, we need to do this. In fact, I got a letter from Wells Fargo saying, we need to update your hazard insurance. And I called, left a message, and I texted him. I even have the text where he even read it, the stamp that he said it was read. I told him, take care of it. If anything, let me know. For 20-something years, he took care of all of my buildings, my homes, my rentals, everything. And for him not to contact me with phone, email, nothing, that was neglection on his part. So I am taking care of that as well.
So that on the other side of the fourplex have children?
Yes, on the opposite side, there's one of them has a daughter, but doesn't play outside.
I was gonna say, you might want to make sure the insurance company knows that. Maybe that can kind of light a fire under them.
I sent a letter, actually, you sent me to them. I told them that next thing you're going to hear from will be my lawyer. And like I said, it's just, I haven't even gotten a response from that email even yet. So.
You got to make a motion.
for being here. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's it.
That's it for you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Public would like to make a comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment period at this time. Council?
Would like to make a motion that we defer this for 60 days to try to work with you and help you. As long as you do what we ask you to do about boarding it up, please.
Got a motion to defer for 60 days from Councilman Himmel.
Second.
Any opposition to this? Hearing none. Item is deferred for 60 days. Last item here is approval of IBTS proposal to expand existing contract to include code enforcement, subject to appropriation by the city council. We'll open up this item for any public comment at this period of time. Anybody would like to make a comment? Just state your name and address.
Mary Stewart, 4138 Countryway Drive in St. George. First, I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate anybody who won their position, and of course, will win their position. That'll be awesome. I am thrilled about this. Thrilled. As someone who's been an HOA president for 13 years, it's good to have a company now that is going to be right front and center that I can go to. Nothing against the city. They've done their part on many things. But I did have a few questions, and I know that y'all are in the beginnings of all this, but I would like to know is the 311 that we're already calling at this time. I read somewhere that they're already handling some of these cases, this company that y'all are proposing. I don't know if they're handling anything that I put in for 311. But I would like to know how that's going to work out with 311. Are y'all going to be part of that? Are you going to have your own? How are we going to go forward with that? And will this be in July? Or am I going too far ahead of y'all right now in these questions? But I would like to know how that's going to be handled. And that's pretty much what I have to ask. That's it.
Once we close the public comment period, I think we can answer some of those questions for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public would like to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will close the public comment period at this time. I'll just make one comment or a few comments, I guess, on the code enforcement piece. So in the transition, certain aspects of code enforcement have fallen neglected, have gone undone, to your point, Ms. Stewart. The expansion of this contract to include IBTS in this backlog of code enforcement issues that we have currently in St. George. It's pretty much a daily occurrence at this point where we're going to get phone calls and things like that. As we transition, it might not be 311, but we'll have a dedicated line that will handle these things. And all of the dedicated code enforcement officials and some of that, which is addressed in this contract, are specific to St. George. So they'll have, a supervisor and multiple folks that will be in the streets every day enforcing the codes that we have adopted up to this point, and obviously the codes that we'll adopt moving forward in the future. If I don't say this, Councilman Himmel will get upset at me. Councilman Himmel has a particular disdain for unwarranted signage throughout our city, whether it's stapled on the telephone poles or littered in areas in front of subdivisions. So to Councilman Himmel's great satisfaction in expanding this contract and include code enforcement officials that will be part of it. So congratulations, Councilman Himmel. That'll be part of it. So not only that, but all the other aspects of code enforcement. And if you've been in the previous meetings, we've been adopting a lot of ordinances, ramping up to this point. Ordinances involving unlicensed massage parlors, ordinances, giving our Fire Prevention Bureau authority to actually do their job within the city of St. George. Now, the next piece in this puzzle, if you will, is the application of actual code enforcement officials that are going to enforce that. In subsequent meetings, we've also approved our administrative hearing process. In the next meeting or so, we'll also be appointing administrative hearing officers. So the whole process will be in play within, I would say, the next 30 to 45 days. So this contract actually, I believe, stipulates that it begins May 1st for code enforcement. So come the beginning of May, the city of St. George will have their own dedicated code enforcement officials.
One thing, if you have a problem with 311, call me. Promise you, I'll get it taken care of.
Forward it to you.
Max, I called in last week about signs on poles in the South Broadway, my subdivision, and they have yet to take it.
Well, you didn't call me.
I will call you.
It's, yeah, Max 11. All right, we'll get it taken care of. But at the same time, we're having a problem with some washouts in Azalea Lakes. Okay, drainage pipes going to the lake. They said they've been calling 311. Okay, well, I called Fred Rayford, then I called a lady by the name of Miss Jacobs. In a matter of 15 minutes, I got everybody interested in it. Okay, I have made contact with 311 to, if anyone from City of St. George calls, they better take care of the problem. And I was that direct, that simple. Didn't have any washback from anybody. Everybody agreed with me. So if you having problems, like I said, reach out to me. I promise you it will get taken care of.
I have a,
Max 11.
this isn't the actual physical contract we're going to sign, correct? Okay, all right. There's a date issue. And it ends, it's a 2-month contract. It's a 2-month contract?
So it's a 2-month extension because their current contract goes through the end of June.
Okay.
So when we put out the RFP for administrative services, which we'll discuss a little bit later, that'll be going out hopefully this week. That will be included in the larger RFP.
So there will be your contract expires, IBTS master contract expires June 30th. But between now and that period of time, we hope to have a master services agreement, a big contract, correct?
Have a request for proposals.
You know what? If you have something to say, come on, I'll open it back. Thanks. We'll open the public comment period.
Well, I just want to say one thing. I agree with the light signs. I'm sorry, guys. I'm
Yeah,
Chris
just
McCarty.
look, standard protocol, give us your name and address, just so we know.
Okay, Chris McCarty, 39092 James Drive, owner Elite Waste and Construction Services. Big ups to you guys, the mayor and the councilman. I agree with the blight properties. I just want to know, do we, as far as the street sweeping, do we submit that in the 311 as well, or are you guys implementing that as well, or how that's going?
I think that would be part of a larger RFP process. So this has nothing to do with street sweeping.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, for me, the blight with the signs, the sweeping, the cleanness, to me, it all goes hand in hand. So, I was just, quick question, sorry. So,
Thank you, appreciate your comment. Since I opened up the public comment period a second time, would anybody else like to speak on this? We'll come up here and speak.
I've been doing this HOA stuff a long time, and I'm loud so everybody can hear me.
Anybody else? This is the second and final time I'm gonna close this period. I will close the public comment period at this time. I think Ms. Stewart there eloquently described the plight of every HOA president that I've ever been around in my life. And just from the bottom of my heart, that is an absolutely thankless job. And I applaud anybody for stepping up and doing that in their neighborhood. It's difficult because everything's your fault, right? I get it. Yeah, I get it. So thank you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm the big HOA guy. That's right.
Yeah, I will say this about 311 right now, concerning roads and maybe street sweeping. I've had a couple of success stories out in District 1 dealing with the Metro Councilman Rowdy Goday and myself, along with the homeowner, all going to 311 at once with our emails and then a few phone calls to have some potholes filled or something cleaned up. I've had about 3 or 4 times that it's worked. I'm not saying it's going to work every time, but if you're driving home tonight and you see some potholes and maybe they should be filled and you've been running over them for, 3 or 4 years now, maybe through your 311 and we as councilmen and then maybe the Metro Councilman all berating the 311 number, max 11, maybe in the next couple of months they could fill those potholes.
Yeah.
So that may be a trick.
Well, but a constituent or a person in St. George should never have to call Max 11. They should, whatever that number is, it should be handled. How is it working right now when someone calls 311, they live in St. George? I'd imagine they have like 911. They know where they live pretty much right when the call happens, right? They can identify on a map. They're taking and logging the issue and then sending it to you, sending it to IBTS, or is it going nowhere? Or are they telling these people that's in St. George, we don't handle that? How's it currently being handled?
Councilman Heck, I can tell you that all of the above is the answer. On some occasions,
Well, that's a policy decision by East Baton Rouge Parish, and that needs to be corrected immediately.
we have worked diligently to try to correct it.
They should fire the people that don't do it. Motion to approve, by the way.
To approve the contract extension to include code enforcement for IBTS through the end of June of this year. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Monticello. Anybody opposed to that? It is approved. I was supposed to make one other announcement here today. I forgot exactly what it was going to be, but I see her in the back of the room. So I'm going to put her on the spot and make her come up here and announce it. Meg, can you come up here and talk about the SBA meeting that's coming up? Yeah, but you're going to put some other stuff on it, and it's going to sound so much nicer from you than me.
Oh, no. My name is Meg Kling. I work here at St. George Fire Department, but obviously we do a lot in conjunction with everyone here with the city. We originally had scheduled for the Small Business Administration to come here after this meeting tonight. However, they double booked us. It's fine. I was just happy I got calls back from them, to be honest with you. Sorry? Well, the one lady had choir practice. Yeah. I don't know. So now it's next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, April 16th at 6 p.m. right here in this room. We will have representatives that are local to our area, but also function with the Small Business Administration. And they will be coming to us, not necessarily for small business owners only. It's realistically to anyone that is interested in learning about what they have to offer. And what they have to offer falls under all kinds of stuff. But the main piece of it is going to be with community resiliency, preparation for emergencies, what to do before, during, and after, and then going into what they actually have to offer us. A lot of people, they hear that and they just think one or two things and don't realize that there is a whole plethora of options available. There's not only loans, And it's not just like a little $1,000 here and there. Like they really give you what you need to get back on your feet after a real disaster. And additionally, they have tons of resources, from anything to starting a small business, keeping it, and then weathering a disaster. So yeah, 6 p.m. And they promised me today that they will be there. So as I double checked and triple checked.
Thank you, Mayor. And so I appreciate it. All right, a few other announcements. Next city council meeting is April 22nd at 5 p.m. St. George Municipal Runoff Election for at-large and District 4 seats is May 3rd, 2025. Early voting for that is April 19th through the 26th, excluding Sunday, April 20th, from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. That is all the announcements that I have. Nobody has anything else?
April 22nd, that's Easter's April 20th this year. I think kids are out of school the subsequent week. If y'all wanted to maybe discuss moving that, I don't know if we'd have a quorum. I don't know if anybody's going out of town.
Moving the April 22nd meeting?
Yeah, potentially. If we have a quorum, then I just wanted to, it's right there at Easter. People may be, wherever they are. We'll poll ourselves, I guess, and see if we have 3 of us.
I'll be
I
here.
don't-
Okay.
I won't be
All right. Well, we can figure that out.
somewhere.
We need to move the meeting. We need to be able to do that as soon as possible because we have all these items for public hearing. So we have to publish.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn by Councilwoman Cook, second by Councilman Himmel. Any opposition? There's never any to that. Thank you all. Meeting is adjourned.